After a long and exhausting day, I found myself alone in the countryside house that had been passed down from my family. Since I lost them during high school, the house had felt like both an inheritance and a constant reminder of solitude. Living alone in the city had made me used to isolation, and I barely kept in touch with distant relatives. Visiting this house a few times a year brought back memories while offering a fleeting sense of peace. The chaos of city life weighed on me, making the house seem like the only sanctuary. The noise, the crowd, the constant rustle of it pressed down on me. Sometimes it felt as though the only relief was silence. The fresh air, the wide yard, and the sound of birds reminded me of my childhood calm. And this visit was meant to clear my head. Arriving at the house as the evening approached, I surveyed the yard. The grass had grown tall, and some fences had tilted over time. Opening the door, the heavy smell of dust filled the rooms. I started by opening windows to let the air in, then moved on to cleaning, sweeping floors, dusting shelves, and straightening curtains. I noted any missing supplies. The first day passed with organizing and minor chores, normal activities, nothing unusual. By nightfall, I had eaten a simple dinner of bread, cheese, and tea. Fatigue from the day made me head to bed early. The silence was soothing after the city noise. Yet, just as I was drifting off, I heard faint footsteps outside. I strained to listen, then laughed at myself. They were probably animals. This rural area was full of wildlife. Every creak and rustle in the night seemed amplified. The sounds of what I thought were scurrying movements were intensified by the wind, but memories of foxes and wandering cats reassured me. "It's just the nature of this place," I muttered and pulled the blanket over my head, shivering slightly but eventually falling asleep. I woke early the next morning, with sunlight filtering through the window slats. I brewed tea and prepared breakfast. Everything seemed fine until a sharp, unpleasant smell hit me. At first I thought it was paranormal in a rural area, but it was stronger, more nauseating. I ventured into the backyard to locate the source. As I got closer, the stench became unbearable. At the corner of the yard, my eyes widened. A cat lay there, torn apart. Blood had dried, and flies circled the remains. I recoiled, unable to look directly. Summoning courage, I moved the carcass farther away, so its smell wouldn't seep into the house. Shaken but needing to focus, I attended 2 minor repairs: a rusty hinge, a loose shelf. With my tools in hand, I worked, but my ears remained alert. Soon, strange noises started against soft thumps, as if something ran along the pipes. I froze, listening, but nothing was visible. The sounds stopped briefly, and I returned to work, yet a lingering unease remained. Though the house was mine, it felt as though something foreign lingered in the corners. My rational mind suggested the noises were the wind or a passing animal. Still, by evening, my unease grew. While preparing dinner, the noises returned, more distinct this time. From across the yard came quick, shuffling steps. I moved to the window, trying to see, but the distance made it impossible. Could it be neighbors? The houses were far enough that the sound shouldn't reach me so clearly. A heavy tension settled over me. I told myself to endure. After all, I wouldn't be staying much longer. Pretending not to hear, I finished eating, but the rustling, tapping, and occasional low hums continued through the night. Falling asleep took longer, and I woke multiple times to listen, yet all I saw was empty space. The next morning, I woke exhausted. As I prepared breakfast, the horrible smell returned. Instinctively, I went to the same corner of the backyard. Another cat lay there, torn apart, fresher than yesterday's. My knees buckled and my stomach churned. I gathered the courage to move the carcass again, farther away. The fear inside me was growing. Seeing the same horror 2 days in a row left me shaken. Thoughts of leaving by evening emerged, but I had unfinished tasks, so I tried to distract myself. Throughout the day, I continued tidying and fixing things, but my ears never stopped scanning. Occasionally, I heard movements, like something running in the yard. I checked outside, but nothing was there. The emptiness of the space made it feel even more threatening. By late afternoon, clouds gathered, and the sky darkened. A storm was approaching. Soon, rain poured heavily, and wind rattled the doors. I retreated indoors as the power flickered repeatedly, old wiring struggling to keep up. I grabbed a large flashlight, keeping it close. Soon, the electricity went out completely. In the dark, the noises felt closer, more urgent. The rain, thunder, and unseen footsteps combined into a terrifying cacophony. My heart pounded as I clutched the flashlight, trying to focus. I waited, holding the flashlight. The storm outside battered the house, the thunder shaking the windows. I tried reasoning with myself. It's all natural, it's just a storm. But fear lingered. My eyes darted to the doors, ears straining for the unknown. After a long while, the power returned. The lights flickered on, offering some relief. I lay in bed, planning to leave in the morning. Still, the same unsettling noises continued, faint but persistent. Exhaustion helped me finally drift to sleep. The following morning, I awoke early. I didn't want breakfast. My only goal was to pack and leave. As I prepared my things, the sharp, nauseating smell returned. My stomach twisted. I moved cautiously toward the backyard, dread pooling in my chest. Turning the corner, I froze. This time, not one, but 3 cats lay there, lifeless and torn apart. I couldn't bring myself to do anything. Panic surged. All I wanted was to escape. I grabbed my belongings quickly. With the smell in the air and my heart racing, I left without looking back. The house no longer felt like a refuge, it had become a living nightmare. As I drove away, my chest heaving, I realized the house had done the opposite of what I had intended. Instead of clearing my mind, it had filled me with dread and unease. Hands still trembling on the wheel, I stared into the distance, vowing never to return. My memories of the house were no longer comforting, they were a warning, a place I could never revisit. The silence of the road and the hum of the engine were the only things grounding me. The horrors of the house lingered in my mind, and I knew with certainty that this would be my final visit.